So welcome back again in our eighth video of MySQL playlist. In this video, we are going to understand what is primary key and what is foreign key. So as you can see, we have these two different table here. So each table have ID and ID name, city ID and city. And table two, it's provide a city name and its ID. So as you can see, we have ID 101 and name Jack, city ID 1 and city Boston. So in table 1, this is the primary key ID 101, 102. So these are primary key and this is also primary key in our city table. But in the table 1 city ID, as you can see, we have 1 2 1 3. So this is a foreign key of table 1. So it's define table 2 city name. So it means like you can see we have city name 1 Boston. So it refers here also that city 1 city ID 1 is Boston. As you can see, also Yash has also city ID 1 and Boston. And you can also so here we have the data primary key and foreign key. It is a column in table that uniquely identify each row a unique ID. So and there is only one primary key in it key and it should be not null. So as we discussed, ID have in this table we have ID and its primary key, and we also have a primary key here, and it's also there is only one primary key and should not be null. But foreign key, we can add different foreign keys in our in table. So let's say we have here ID city ID, we have 1213 as they refers the table to ID. But let's say we have another table that which shows that we have different let's say marks. So student mark, so mark ID as so this way we can also refer different foreign key in our table. So let's say mark ID. So mark let's say we have different table 3 and it shows the mark and ID. So it can be have refer here as a mark ID and we can add numbers. So a foreign key is a column or a set of columns in a table that refers to the primary key. And there can be multiple foreign keys. We can add many different. So after for primary key and foreign key, let's understand what is constraint. Constraint is uh, as we know we use when we define a table, we use column name. After column name, we add different types like integer data type, and after that we use constraint as a not null or unique or not null. So constraint is very important that it defines that okay, we have column name 1. So and column name 1 has integer data type, and integer data type should not be null, not null value. And column 2 has a integer data type, and in that column 2 it will be unique uh, ID or it will be different. So constraint is very important topic in our MySQL workbench. So let's try to understand and let's create a one new workbench for like just understand what is constraint and what is primary key again by making a one new table. Suppose we give the name temp1, and in that we use ID, give the ID and integer data type, and we use a unique constraint. As you know, we have this unique constraint. So use constraint in our table uh, ID int unique. So close this and semicolon. So let's just input some more data in our table temp1. So insert into temp1 and let's give the values. So let's say I want to give 101 value, semicolon, Let's just run this. Did we run this? Let's try to run this first. And after we create the table, insert some values in that. So as you can see, we input ID 101. Let's check on this here. As you can see, we have this college database. In our table, go click here, and temp 1 we have the table, and in temp 1 we have column. Click on that ID. As you can see, we have ID here. So this is the way you can add temp 1. And let's say I want to see this temp 1. So select all from temp 1 semicolon. Run this code. You can see we have 101 ID here. As you know, we use unique constraint. So if we insert uh, same ID in our let's write it down 101, so it will give us a error because we define 101 as a unique ID. Let's run this. As you can see, we got the error duplicate entry for key temp1 ID. We can't add one more unique ID in our table temp1. We can add tab 102. Let's run this, and you can see we got the output here. And let's try to run this code again. Run, select all from temp1. You can see we have 101 and 102 ID. We can also create one more table for our constraint. Let's create table temp2, and in temp2 we add value like ID. ID we give ID data type int, integer data type. Name will be varchar data type 50. You have to give comma here. Age will be on an integer value. City will be varchar for, let's say, 20 character. Click on that. So as you know, we use different constraint for our table. So let's suppose I want to use primary key in our ID. So for that we need to add. We can also add here as a primary key here. We can write primary key here. Key. But rather than doing if I don't want to add here, you can also add here as a primary key, and you have to give the ID in that. So this way you define ID as a primary key in our table. Let's just run this code. You can see our temp2 here as a column. Click here, ID, name, age, city, ID, name, age, city. And you can also see our information here as a temp2 table. We give ID as an integer and a primary key. Name varchar 50, age integer value, and the city will be varchar 20.